week, more than 4 million people read Henry Maco's newspaper column. What is your name, please?
My name is Henry Maco.
My name is Henry Maco. My name is Henry Maco.
Only one of these people is the real Henry Maco. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Suzy Parker, Sam Levenson, and Kitty Carlisle. On to Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collyer.
Thank you very much. Welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Aerowax, made with natural wax for a shine that mops back naturally. Aerowax. Good evening, panel.
Good evening, Bud.
Bud.
Suzy, a special good evening to you, and welcome to Tell the Truth.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed as much as we enjoy having you here. Panel, will you kindly open up your affidavit envelopes for the first time tonight? Take out the first affidavit and follow along as I read from mine. I, Henry Maco, am a newspaper columnist. I write a weekly column of advice to parents. I answer letters from my readers and deal with child-raising problems such as TV watching, finicky eating, piano practice, proper discipline, and how often a boy should take a bath. Despite the fact that I am a bachelor, my column of advice appears in 35 newspapers in the United States and Canada. Signed, Henry Maco. Three gentlemen this time, each claiming to be Henry Maco, columnist extraordinary, with advice to the parent lorn, I guess you might say. We start this first round of questioning tonight with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. I prefer to think that Henry Maco is really number 2 or 3, because I know that number 1 could give me some very sensible answers, but I prefer to find out from number 2, what do you consider good TV watching? How much time?
Around an hour or 2 a night.
And that's all?
Yes.
During the week, how much?
About 2 or 3 hours a day.
During the week? Now, what do you consider the amount of time, the amount of times that a boy should take a bath, number 3, during the week?
Oh, about maybe 2.
Twice a week. You consider that plenty?
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I think I'm forced to ask number 1. How often do you think a boy should...
Whenever the need arises, at least once a day.
Tom.
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, where do you write from? That's a badly put question. I started to say, where's your newspaper? And then I realized you sell to many newspapers. Number 1, from where do you maintain your headquarters?
From the state of Vermont.
Thank you. Number 2?
Tampa, Florida.
Thank you. Number 3, please?
Ottawa, Ontario, Canada.
From Canada. Number 3, maybe you know what green sheet is, or a tear sheet.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it? Well, I guess number 1 might know. You see, we're not going to get any answers from 2 and 3 because they're going to give the kids' point of view. It doesn't necessarily... I'm surprised they said the kids should take a bath at all. Number 2, would you care to clarify your reasons for saying that a kid should watch... a youngster, I mean, should watch 3 hours of television during the week?
I mean a day, 3 hours a day about.
I think that's what you said before. Well, there's the kid's answer again.
Suzy Parker.
Number 1, do you get paid by the word in writing your column?
No, I don't.
Number 2, do you get paid by the word or by the column?
No.
She said, or by the column. You get paid by the word or by the column?
By the column.
I see. When do you write this column?
In the weekends, during the weekends.
Number 3, how often do you take a bath?
Oh, boy. Well, I guess 1.5 times a week.
1.5.
Well, it gets cold up in Canada.
I want to know which end gets the half.
Never mind, Kitty, never mind. Sam Levenson.
I was going to ask her, what's a half a bath?
Shower.
Shower.
I think number 3 looks most responsive. Since you answer questions, do you think that parents should spank their children?
Yes.
You do. Have you ever been spanked?
Yes.
The part that gets the bath or the other part? All right, one more question. I want to see if he can give advice. What do you do about a kid who doesn't eat well? How would you handle that?
I don't know. Oh, I guess, well, give him meager meals, I guess.
Give him
Small meals.
Smaller meals.
smaller meals so when he gets hungry.
Well, that's it, I'm afraid. It's too bad, because it was fun, this questioning session, but it's over for now. And so will you kindly tend to the voting, please, panel? And without consultation, mark your ballots for number 1, number 2, or number 3. As is our custom, of course, the challengers will receive $250 for every incorrect vote. All right, all rings around the bathtubs cleanly marked. Tom, for whom did you vote?
Well, I guess I should have voted for 3.5. But I voted for number 3 because he got such wonderful laughs.
Suzy, your ballot.
I voted for number 3 because because he knows all about taking baths, that's why.
Sam.
I voted for number 3 because, like a good newspaper man, he didn't answer any of the questions directly. Everything seemed rumored or suggested or on good authority. So on good authority, I think 3 is the man.
Okay.
It's the Pulitzer Prize of 1984.
Kitty.
I voted for number 1. I should have voted for 2 or 3 because they gave the answers that the children want, but I think newspapers being run by grown-ups wouldn't run their column. So I voted for number 1.
All right, let's see now whether your choice was a good one. We have then 1, 2, 3. Tom, Suzy, and Sam all voting for number 3. You voting for number 1. We'll find out now who's right, who's wrong. And if you're kind of guessing along with us at home, let's see how right or wrong you may be as we discover which one of these gentlemen is the real columnist extraordinary. So will the real Henry Maco please stand up? Your hunch didn't play right that time, Kitty, but it was fun. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
First, I'm not a bachelor. I'm a father of 3 and a grandfather of 2. I live in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and I'm general agent for the Bankers National Life of Montclair.
There you are. Thank you, sir. And number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
My real name is Chris Clark of Tampa, Florida, and I am a student of 6th grade.
Bless you, boy. Well, the score shows that our panel was kind of smart this first off here. That means only 1 incorrect at $250 for you, but a gift package from Aerowax of all the fine products from the makers of Aerowax. And we thank you so much for contributing to the enjoyment of our evening. Hope you had fun, too. Good night and good luck to you. Before we meet our next team of challengers, a gentleman was so anxious to establish that he was not a bachelor and was a father and a grandfather, he neglected to say his name, which was Bob Marcotte. So just for the record and all of Bob's friends, that's who it is. Now, panel, may I introduce our next team of challengers?
What is your name, please?
My name is Lorraine Trester. My name is Lorraine Trester.
My name is Lorraine Trester.
You've looked, panel, now listen, if you will, and follow along, both looking and listening with your copy of this next affidavit. I, Lorraine Trester, am a mink rancher. My husband and I own a herd of 9,000 mink of various shades, which are kept in 9,000 individual pens. We do our own breeding, pelting, and grading. Our skins are shipped to New York, where the largest mink auctions in the world are held during the winter. Signed, Lorraine Trester. Panel, you heard these 3 ladies and their lovely minks, all claiming to be Lorraine Trester, mink rancher. And we will begin this round of questioning with Sam Levenson. Sam?
Good. We certainly have the best dressed guest here.
Yes, we do.
I know about an Eskimo who said to another Eskimo, he says, I don't know, my wife is driving me crazy. She wants a cloth coat. Well, that doesn't count. I read ads in magazines that say, raise mink in your cellar. Number one, can you raise minks in your cellar?
I guess you can. I raise them outside.
You do?
It's a lot cleaner that way.
It's possible to raise minks in a cellar?
Yes.
Uh-huh. It says in the affidavit that you have 9,000 little minks of various shades. Could you name 5 different shades of mink? Number 2.
There's black, and brown, gray, blue, and white.
Those are not really shades, are they?
Well,
They're colors.
They're colors. Good enough. Number 3, what do you feed a mink so it grows up to be beautiful?
Mink food.
I imagine. I imagine.
okay.
You wouldn't give it rabbit food. No.
Tom Poston. I beg your pardon, Kitty. Forgive me.
Oh, thank you.
On the other end of the line there. Kitty comes.
Number 3, when the minks are auctioned off, there is a previewing, right, of minks?
Yes.
Are the minks labeled by name or number?
Usually by the pelts now, not the minks.
Yes, but I mean, are they labeled by name or number?
Usually they have a trade name or code.
I see. Number 1, when the minks are finally auctioned off, are they visible?
Yes, they are.
Number 2, are they visible?
No, they are not.
Number 3, when you feed your minks, are they good-tempered? Are they darling little animals?
Depending. If you're a few minutes over time, they're not very good animals.
Number 1.
But if you have a regularity, they are.
Tom.
Thank you. I'm really confused. I thought I knew once. Number 1, what causes a mink to froth at the mouth?
Distemper.
Number 2, what is SIBO's disease? Do you know?
No, I do not.
Number 3, how are the...
Do you know?
No, but SIBO does.
And he hasn't been heard from in years.
Number 3, how do you skin a mink?
Shall I say similar to the way a woman takes a dress off?
They have zippers?
That's right. Suzy Parker.
Number 1. Are the minks auctioned alive or are they dead?
No, they're dead. They've been dead for a long time.
Are they
Sorry to hear that.
Are they auctioned by the single pelt or
No, they're auctioned in a group of pelts all together.
approximately what number?
About 200 in a group.
Number 2, how do mink skins get different names such as heather and hazelnut and things like that? Who names the minks?
Well, they're given the different names by the association.
Number 3, how old is the mink when he unzips his skin? It goes to market.
About 7 months.
And that's all the time we have. No more months. We just have to go right away at our zippers and mark our ballots, if we will, please. Without consultation, will you vote now, voting for number 1, number 2, or number 3? All ballots marked? Okay, Tom, for whom this time?
Well, I voted for number 3. I must confess that I had a guess there toward the end. First, I thought it was number 3. Then I liked a way number 2 answered a question about whether the pelts are visible when they're auctioned. And then I was confused again, but I thought number 3 because she seemed like the right one.
Suzy, your vote.
I voted for number 1 because I was impressed with her answer about distemper. I don't know why.
And your vote, Mr. Mr. Levenson?
I voted for number 2 because I think she's been neglected in the past.
Friend in need.
No, she gave only a few answers, but she seemed very well informed. I was very much impressed. I think she's kind of be gently quiet, but I think it is she, number 2.
Okay. Kitty.
I voted for number 2. I honestly think it's number 3. She She said that the skins are not named, but they have a code number pre-auction. But number 2 said the skins are not visible at the auction, which is true. They have to be seen ahead of time. And so I voted for number 2.
All right, we've got it split all over the map here tonight. Something for everybody in this one. And if that's true in your case, let's see whether we're right or wrong as we learn which one of these 3 ladies is the real Mink rancher. So will the real Lorraine Trester please stand up? Thank you very much. I must say it was a tough one because the other 2 ladies certainly learned their lessons well. You can go right out and raise mink now for all you like.
I have
Number
a
1,
question.
beg pardon.
Are they wearing real mink tonight?
I'll have to
Are they all? Real mink?
All wearing real
We didn't
mink.
fool you?
No, I didn't fool them on that. Number 1, your real name, please, and what you really
My
do.
name is Phyllis Alexander, and I live on Long Island, and I'm a secretary for the Girl Scout Council of Greater New York.
Thank you very much. And number 3, you who seem to be on such speaking terms with Mink, your real name and what you really do.
I'm Caroline Mcelveen, originally from Kingstree, South Carolina, but I now sell real estate in New York City.
We thank you all and tell you that in checking over the score here, we find you did a little better this time. There were 2 incorrect votes at $250 each for a total of $500 from Aerowax and a gift package of fine products from the makers of Aerowax. Thanks for being with us. Good night. Good luck to you all.
Thank you.
I present our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Jacob Feldman.
My name is Jacob Feldman.
My name is Jacob Feldman.
Panel, will you follow along with this affidavit? I, Jacob Feldman, am one of the 12,000 young men and women who applied for a place in President Kennedy's Peace Corps. I was fortunate to be among the 35 named to go abroad on one of the Corps' first overseas projects. I have just finished a rigorous 8 weeks training course, and next month I leave for 2 years' service in Tanganyika in East Africa. Signed, Jacob Feldman. This time, 3 stalwart gentlemen, I think you'll agree, each claiming to be Jacob Feldman, Peace Corps volunteer. We will begin this round with Tom Poston. Tom, please.
Thank you. I just had an idea for a question. Number 3, you must have studied up on where you're going. What is the latitude of Tanganyika?
It's at the equator.
Thank you. That's quick enough, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, where are wild animals found in Tanganyika?
Pretty much throughout the country.
But specifically the big animals and the cats and so forth.
To the western part in the higher slopes of Tanganyika.
Number 1, is there a special place that you can think of?
The Serengeti Plain is a big game reserve.
I think that's number 1. What is the chief danger of living in Tanganyika?
No more dangerous than living here. Possibly malaria.
Suzy.
Thank you.
Number 2, do you have a choice in picking the post that you wish to have? I mean, the country that you wish to go to?
No, not in this particular instance.
Number 3, were you chosen because of a knowledge of a particular language?
No.
Number 1, part of your 8 weeks training course, does that include studying the language?
Just the basic fundamentals of the language and to familiarize ourselves with the pronunciation.
Number 2, why did you choose East Africa?
Well, actually, it was not a choice. It's an engineering project. And those of us who applied that are in the engineering field were sent to Tanganyika.
Sam?
Number 1, what college did you attend?
University of Delaware.
Uh-huh. You have a degree in engineering?
Right.
What's your degree called in letters?
Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineering.
Give me the letters, quickly.
BS and CE.
BS and CE. That's going to help me in Tanganyika. Number 2, could you say good morning to me in the language of Tanganyika?
We don't allow any little language.
I won't tell anybody. All right. What was the exam like? Number 2, were you given an exam for this?
Yes.
What did they ask you?
Well, it was a general IQ, the first part, and the second part was a technical exam.
On what?
On the surveying. I happen to be a surveyor.
Kitty.
Well, I'm absolutely thrilled for the first time to meet a member of the Peace Corps. I think it's a wonderful thing, and I'm very proud to meet one of you, or all 3 of you. Number 1, what is the project that you're going to build in Tanganyika?
A road system to get farm-to-market feeder road system.
Number 2, what is a Watutsi?
Well, it is a tribe in Africa.
Number 3, where do the Mau Mau live?
The Mau Mau?
What is their tribe?
The Mau Mau?
Yes.
They are made up of more than one tribe.
I see.
Afraid that's all we have time for, unfortunately. Interesting continent, Africa, and interesting boats we will now be putting out, I think. If you will concentrate upon your ballots, and without consultation, vote now for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All balloting done. Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 1 this time, Bud. I'll base it strictly on a kind of a funny answer, a funny question, really. The animals, while they're widespread through that part of the country, are actually concentrated in government preserves, and that was the kind of answer he gave me. I didn't get a chance to ask number 2 questions I would like to, but he seemed to know a lot about it, too.
Susie, your vote.
I voted for number 2 because he seemed so sincere in his answer, his responses to where he was going and why.
And Sam?
Number 2 is sincere, but I didn't vote for it. I voted for number 1 on a different premise. Did I hit a bell there? My premise was that most of the people who have applied for Peace Corps are pretty fresh out of college, and I think that number 1 looks like he's just fresh out of college.
Kitty.
I voted for number 1. I eliminated number 3 because I think the Mau Mau belong to the Kikuyu tribe, and number 2 seemed a little bit less definite than number 1.
All right, there we have it again, and our own special moment of truth as we learn which one of these gentlemen is the real member of the Peace Corps. So may we ask now the real Jacob Feldman to please stand up. Well, panel's getting real smart, I must say. Congratulations to you, sir. We're proud to have you with us.
Thank you.
Number 2, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
My name is Hap Anderson. I'm president and general manager of WCCA-TV in Columbia, South Carolina, and WCCB-TV in Montgomery, Alabama.
They call him an instant network, I guess. Number 3, your real name and what you
My
really
name
do.
is Lou Malis, and I'm an accountant in the Controllers Organization of Shell Oil Company here in New York City.
Thank you, sir. Well, the score again shows a smart panel. There were 3 correct and only 1 incorrect for a total of $250 from Aerowax, as well as, of course, a gift package of the fine products from the makers of Aerowax. Thank you, gentlemen, very much for sharing your evening with us. Good night, and good luck to you. Well, I think all of us, after tonight, are going home and try out taking a half a bath. It might be... If we've learned nothing else, we've learned something. Do you suppose, Tom, that a half a bath leaves a half a ring?
I just hope Francesca wasn't watching this. My daughter, she'll be wanting to take half baths
from now on. Well, panel, I hope you've had fun. Susie, Sam, always nice to have you with us. Good night to you.
Good night, Bud.
Bud Collier saying good night from Aerowax and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Todman production.
The name in our mailbox is Porter.
To our friends, we're Pete and Gladys.
And we're at home next on most of these stations.
Drop in.
Birds from the studio of Schiaparelli. Tell the Truth has been brought to you by Dristan Nasal Mist, the new decongestant spray for relief from head colds, misery, and sinus congestion. Johnny Olson saying goodnight from To Tell the Truth. The program was pre-recorded.